Okay, so welcome to connecting to Oracle database in the cloud with Megaport and Oracle. Today, we're actually going to be presenting um, a series of elements that equate to this particular topic. My name is Sherlock Doris. I'm the Cloud Alliance Director for Megaport, and I'm working in conjunction with my colleagues, Paul McGuinness, Head of Solutions for Megaport in EMEA, and our partner, Suzanne Halliday, Senior Principal Product Manager for Oracle. This is a joint partnership, and hopefully by the end of our presentation, you should have a deeper insight as to how we work together to deliver services for customers looking to leverage private connectivity into OCI Cloud. Next slide, please. So just to set the scene, if you look at three of the top researchers in the IT industry, Gartner, S&P Global, Flexera, they're all leveraging multi-cloud as one of the strategies that is now becoming the new normal. What we see today is that 85% of infrastructures will be hybrid. They will incorporate cloud technology, either in a direct sort of cloud way or in a hybrid way where they're leveraging on-premises capabilities as well as cloud services. The reason behind this is primarily because some applications are cloud native. Some applications are still relying upon data center on-premise configurations because of the nature of their ability to migrate to cloud. And whilst this migration process is taking place, customers are looking to leverage both cloud and on-premise delivery mechanisms in order to facilitate the business needs. Oracle Cloud Infrastructure is one of the prominent providers of cloud services, and we are pleased to say that we work with Oracle in many locations. The details of those will follow later in the presentation. Today is all about showing the tools and the capabilities that we have jointly to address customer needs in cloud services. Next slide. Just to let you know, Megaport. So Megaport is actually a network as a service provider. We were formed in 2013, specifically because the way networking for cloud services was presented was very archaic. It was pretty much telco centric and did not follow the model of the cloud services provider. So what we did was we actually created Megaport to deliver services and align the delivery mechanisms in the same way as the hyperscalers. So if you look at some of our key differentiators, we look at pay for what you use. We provide a very easy to use portal for customers to configure services. And for most of our services, we can actually provision within 60 seconds to 5 minutes. And that's the most complex services. So pretty much ease of use, user-friendly, secure and on demand. So customers can actually leverage a secure backbone and they can scale up and scale down as is appropriate. We work with leading service providers, of which Oracle Cloud is one. And we allow customers to basically get the best of both worlds. So if you have applications that are specific to a hyperscaler, I mean, in Oracle's case, Oracle is a leading database provider. You can leverage Oracle database in the cloud, but use other SaaS applications outside of Oracle if you so wish. So it gives customers a true multi-cloud approach to delivering business value based on application needs. We connect with enterprises, cloud service providers, data center operators, and network service providers. to allow our customers to get the benefits of all of the tools and capabilities in that space. Next slide, please. If you look at Megaport as a scale, we're roughly 2,800 plus. Our customer count is always increasing, but if we say we at least have 2,800, they include people like Aon, Immobile, News Corp, Getty Images, Breville, to name a few. And we work right across the verticals, so we're not vertical centric. We're actually quite horizontal in that sense. Our solutions are applicable to companies in any of those verticals that we know. And we do that across 100 plus unique data center operators. The reason for choosing so many data center operators is that we wanted to de-risk our customers and scale our customers and allow our customers to scale as best they can across a wide geographical spread. So out of those 100 plus data centers, we address customers from roughly 800 plus locations. So pretty much anywhere you are in the geography of the world, you can actually get onto a Megaport backbone and connect to Oracle in multiple locations. My colleagues will be more specific in terms of the locations and where they're at later on the presentation. We also provide a facility for service providers to interact with each other, so they can leverage services from our backbone and join each other in the marketplace with direct sharing across those 360 service providers. Next slide, please, Paul. At this point, I'd like to hand over to Paul, who will take you through how we connect, where we connect, and some of the technical aspects of Megaport.
That's great. Thank you very much, Sherlock. Yeah, keep the questions coming in as well in the Q&A panel, and we can get to some of those at the end. This map is showing us the locations where Megaport and Oracle Cloud already have fast connect, interconnect points around the world. So these are already in place. Customers don't have to do anything to reach these. They don't have to order cross-connect at any of these locations. They're already interconnected between Oracle Cloud and Megaport. And you don't even have to be at these locations to access the fast connect services. You can be anywhere in the world and then connected to the Megaport network, and we will take you to these fast connect locations of choice at high private data rates. So let's take a look at some of the different services that Megaport offers to our customers, and just break it down into 3 different groups. We've got hybrid cloud, we've got virtual POP, and we have cross cloud. So on the left, if we start and cover hybrid cloud, this is a common way for customers to connect to us. It's typically inside a data center or inside a campus where the customer is close to one of our 800 locations, and the customer has a presence there by themselves. They order a Megaport port through our portal or through Megaport APIs. Immediately that port is available. Customers can then order a cross connect from their rack to the Megaport port location through the data center provider. And this typically takes between 1 and 3 days for that cross connect to be in place. Once that cross connect is complete, the Megaport port is then a multi-cloud port. It can connect you, as in the diagram here, to an Oracle Fast Connect, and it can be any Oracle Fast Connect that we've seen in the previous slide globally. So it does not have to be a particular Fast Connect that is local to that data center or that metro. It can be any, indeed. And the connection from the physical port to the Oracle Fast Connect, that's a virtual connection that is provisioned across the Megaport network, and it takes 1 to 2 minutes for that to be complete. And we'll look at some demos of that later on. In the center, we've got a virtual POP, and this is something that we've seen a huge increase in and a huge amount of interest in. And the reason we believe there's a lot of interest in this is due to the fact that many customers have made the move to cloud. They spent multiple years moving their resources to cloud and making that transition. And then they're starting to look at their networking infrastructure, and they can see that the networking infrastructure can also be virtualized, and they can do that on a network as a service provider like Megaport. So for example, you can virtualize routing in a location of choice. You can have a high capacity, high performance virtual firewall, and you can have an SD-WAN hub, all virtualized without having to have any presence in that data center that you're deploying in. So you can deploy in remote locations, high capacity requirements for your networking in a virtual way. And then on the access side, you can access that through secure internet tunnels, or you can come through Megaport ports like we saw in the first example of hybrid cloud. And then from the connectivity point of view, you can connect to anything on the Megaport network. So any cloud provider, any fast connect location globally as well. And then the third item over here on the right is the cross cloud infrastructure example. And here we have an example of where you spin up a virtual routing and you're connecting from Oracle Cloud to another cloud provider. In this circumstance, it's entirely virtual. It's all across the Megaport network. You don't have to order any cross connects. And this connectivity is private from one cloud to another cloud. And indeed, you could have up to 25 clouds connected to a virtual element here in the middle as well. You can apply all of the advanced BGP features that you need to connect from one cloud to the other. You can use things like route filtering and traffic engineering on that as well to steer the traffic as you require. So we'll look at that in a little bit more detail later as well. From a global reach and location point of view, this gives you a map. It shows you where Megaport is deployed around the world. You can also go to megaport.com and click on locations on our website. And within the website, you can also see the latency figures between any of these data centers to any other data center. So you can see the live round trip times from the previous month on the website. Then using these capabilities, using virtual routing, using physical ports in data centers, using our edge products, you can spin these up in the locations that you need. Like I mentioned, you don't have to have a physical presence in a remote data center to use Megaport services. You can spin up that capability, start using it, connecting it to Oracle Cloud, connecting it to physical ports, connecting it to other elements on the Megaport network. So you can replace, a traditional MPLS backbone with the Megaport Global WAN capability as well. So not only can we give you the metro connectivity and the regional connectivity, we can connect you from one region to another over a flexible virtual cross connect that gives you the bandwidth that you need, up to 10 and 20 gigabits per second. So you can provision that, you can turn up and down the data rates to suit your need without being locked into a long-term contract. So just to cover the joint value proposition from a Megaport point of view, as Sherlock covered earlier, we are a network as a service provider with a self-service portal. Also, we can be fully driven through APIs and Terraform. We've got a global WAN backbone that can be utilized and provisioned by customers in real time. And we're across lots of different data center providers. We're inside 100 different data center providers' facilities, giving customers choice when they want to physically interconnect with us. And it allows greater reach for customers to be able to easily get onto the Megaport network through those 800 plus locations. With Oracle, we'll see later, and we're going to give you a demo of that. the provisioning of Megaport services securely inside the Oracle console. We've seen already that Oracle Cloud infrastructure is connected to the Megaport network in 26 locations, so 26 fast connect locations around the world. And that gives you, private connectivity that is, secure from your data center to cloud or from one cloud to another. And over these fast connect locations, you can access all OCI services through those private interfaces. And currently we have over 850 fast connects in use by our customers. So huge scale there, as you can see. And then in addition to that, we've touched upon the multi-cloud, and we'll look at it in more detail later, but private multi-cloud is possible through those fast connect locations and through Megaport. If you have an SD-WAN solution, you can use a short hop over the internet to jump onto the Megaport network through any of these vendors, Cisco, Fortinet, VMware, Versa, and Aruba, and then we will take you to Oracle Cloud from that edge location on the Megaport network. And then in addition to that, if you need some firewalling capability, maybe you need firewalling between your data center and Oracle Cloud, or your data center and other clouds, or you need firewalling between clouds or between any of those resources and the internet, then you can spin up a Fortinet or a Palo Alto virtual firewall, and then scale that appropriately to meet your needs. And you'll have all of the functionality from Palo Alto and Fortinet available to you there as well, including HA solutions. Okay, so Oracle database in Oracle Cloud. Suzanne, I'll hand over to you for this section. Just still on mute.
Thank you very much, Paul. Good morning, everybody. So I'm here to just take us through the offerings that Oracle has for our platform managed services. And here you can see that we have a selection of services, namely the Autonomous Database, Exadata Database Service on Dedicated Infrastructure, and the Base Database Service. So if we're starting from the left, the Autonomous Database Service, this is the easiest database service that can be deployed. It's in a shared or dedicated model, and it's fully managed, which is why it's the easiest, right? Oracle performs all the manual tasks, so it makes it the most easiest for you, because we're helping you with the patching, and we're making sure that we implement the very, very best configurations. And this is the point to the platform delivery, because it's a platform service delivered with all the best practices built in. So what we're doing is we're really ensuring that your application is running the most efficiently and at any scale. And this really is the reason why it serves you the best and serves you most, is because it's eliminating human error, and it's taking that burden away from you from the patching. And like I said already, it's already built in with all the best optimizations, particularly around high availability. So in the middle, we have Exadata Database Service. So we call this the most flexible, and this is because it has Exadata capability, and what that means, it's comprised of database and storage servers, and these are completely dedicated to your database workloads. So it's important to realize that this is unlike the autonomous database, which is completely fully managed. The Exadata Database Service is a co-managed service. So Oracle works together with you as the customer to ensure that all the components, are patched and automatically applied. And in doing so, we have this joint model. So we're looking after the infrastructure. We're applying all the maintenance. We have a lot of built-in maintenance automation that makes that very easy. So from an infrastructure perspective, we're doing that all for you. And then from your perspective, you're there to manage the everything from above the hypervisor level. So this means that you have complete control when it comes to virtual machine, OS, and grid infrastructure as well. Although you have that control, we do urge you to keep the maintenance updates as up to date as possible to ensure the best experience. And then on the right, we have base database service. And we call this our most traditional service because it runs on virtual machines on compute on the x86 platform. And like the Exadata database service, it's co-managed so that we provide you the patches with the full admin control. And Oracle provides you also with the patches to run the database and all the features available. Next slide, please, Paul. Okay, so this fully elastic configuration, this is really paramount to the Exadata database service on dedicated infrastructure, as well as Exadata database service at Cloud at Customer. And the Cloud at Customer variant is where we're delivering Exadata into your data center. And this is where this becomes paramount as well when we're talking about connectivity, because there's very, very various options that we can deliver this full elasticity to you. So Exadata database service on dedicated infrastructure, which is our compute offering in the public cloud, this provides this scale-out X9M database and storage servers. And each of the service features the hardware resources listed on the slide, and customers can properly configure and size your hardware with elastic compute and storage during provisioning. And then the beauty of it is that you can actually expand as needed by adding more services, adding more servers post-deployment as well. Next slide, please, Paul. So I mentioned OCI services in your data center already. This is where we're actually, bringing our public cloud offering that I've just mentioned, which is Oracle Exadata database service on dedicated infrastructure, into your actual data center. And there are many public cloud regions. However, they're not always the right answer when it comes to companies or you as an organization having the applications in that particular region. So this is where we can deliver it right to you. And there's, this is a hybrid cloud approach. It helps bridge the traditional on-premises data center and the public cloud, bringing that public cloud benefit into on-premises application, into the on-premises applications. So, there's a number of reasons why you might need to do this. Some industries and countries have data residency regulations, and they may mandate that certain data remains on premises. For example, that, only in-country public data centers are allowed. And therefore, this is why it's very, 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 very popular. And even without that regulatory requirement, it's not uncommon for multiple on-premises systems to be tightly coupled as well. And this is where, for example, financial institutions, they often have this requirement where they need to settle transactions and so forth through front office applications and the front office branches with their back office, for example. So next slide, please, Paul. So what we're saying here is that we've got the opportunity to run Exadata throughout the entire stack, whether this is on premises, whether this is actually, as I've just gone through, in your own data center, the Exadata database service on Cloud at Customer, or whether it's actually in the public cloud offering. And we're offering the greatest differentiators for a database platform that really gives you that flexibility where to deploy. Next slide, please, Paul. So I think one thing that we really want to convey here is that why is it so important to actually run the Oracle database on the Oracle Cloud infrastructure? So Oracle offers the ability to deploy the Oracle database in other clouds as well. But when you actually deploy it in Oracle Cloud infrastructure, you're getting very, 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 very particular benefits. And this is what I'm just going to take you through now on this slide. These are I've really encapsulated here the main benefits that we see then when we run the Oracle database on Oracle Cloud infrastructure. And the first and foremost is consolidation of Exadata. Really dramatically reduces your costs. So as we all know, today organizations are really under pressure to manage these costs, increase agility, and ensure you've got this availability, also with reduced security risks. And therefore, we need to really deliver that proper level of system performance to meet the business objectives. And in order to do that, we come from an era where we've got mission critical systems actually on premises today, and actually making that move to the cloud means that we can actually implement database consolidation. And therefore, what we're doing is we're actually placing multiple databases into a single set of computing infrastructure. And in order to ensure that we're actually making, this transition smoothly, we're actually ensuring that we're reducing the complexity and the overhead of running more and larger databases. And we're actually reducing cost at the same time. So what we can do is we can actually implement Exadata database service on dedicated infrastructure in the public cloud or cloud at customers we've already been through. And this will provide an immense increase in number of cores for your database servers and flash and hard drive capacity, as well as SQL processing, which is really paramount when it comes to Exadata storage servers, because it means you can run more databases in less Exadata infrastructures than ever. And then this higher consolidation really reduces your CapEx, and administration improves energy efficiency. So you can run your Oracle databases and the entire fleet far more efficiently at a lower cost. So if we go to the second point, migrate to Oracle Cloud with no disruption and zero downtime. This is absolutely paramount when you're actually moving from on-premises into the cloud. And what we've done is we've actually, over the years, we've refined and developed our cloud tooling to ensure that we can provide this best transition for you, because migrating workloads, of course, is very, very challenging. And we've created a tool called Zero Downtime Migration, ZTM, and this is our premier solution, because what it does, it simplifies and automates the migration experience, providing zero to negligible downtime for a production system. And it allows you to directly and seamlessly migrate your on-premises databases, as I've mentioned, to between any Oracle-owned infrastructure. So whether this is Exadata database machine on premises, or whether we've got the cloud at customer offering, as I've mentioned, and the Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, as well as base database service. So it offers a wide range of versions and ensures that you can actually make this smooth transition to without, obviously impacting your production database as well. And it follows the maximum availability architecture and incorporates products such as Oracle Golden Gate and DataGuard too. So the third point is achieve fastest performance and elastic scalability with Exadata. So we have, as Oracle, developed Oracle Exadata database machine, whether this is on premises, in the cloud, or cloud at customer. And this really does implement and deliver the fastest cloud OLTP, as well as analytics, and provide elastic scalability. And we're doing that through, providing you online database and storage capability with expansion, online, and real application clusters to provide this internode cluster coordination and enable you to scale out clustered storage and provide resource management for database consolidation. So it's really the ideal database hardware built with the database-aware software, and we provide a fully automated and optimized design. And these are the three tenets of our vision for Exadata that we implement throughout the whole stack, irrespective of the versions that we're bringing out, so that we're providing this scalability and performance with unparalleled cost effectiveness to customers as well. So the one of the things that we really want to do as well is that when we're providing this Oracle database in the OCI, is provide you maximum availability, which goes to the fourth point. And one of the things that you will attain is that when you actually run Oracle in OCI, is that we're actually providing real application clusters and maximum availability architecture. And what this is, it's a set of best practices that Oracle's highly availability and disaster recovery technologies implement. And this is provided to you as a PaaS service for the base database service and Exadata database service as well in our public clouds. And you know, you're not actually achieving this when you're actually providing Oracle, when you're actually running Oracle in other public clouds today. So this is a very, very prevalent point here. And we're eliminating we're eliminating administration with autonomous database as well. An autonomous database is available on OCI as a serverless offering or a dedicated deployment. And this is really where we providing this fully automated service, as I mentioned at the start, regardless of complexity, scale, or criticality. And then finally, when we look to the last point, we're reducing complexity because what we're doing is we're modernizing application development with the Converged database. And the Converged database means that we have a database that has native support for all modern data types, for analytics and the latest deployment paradigms. And how we achieve this is we integrate new data types, workloads within the Converged database. So we're having everything as a one-stop shop. So what that means is that you do not actually have to provision purpose-built database like a lot of the other vendors actually have in a way where we're actually providing purpose-built for that particular function. So a Converged database from Oracle provides you everything, whether this is, JSON flexibility or IoT device integration in memory technologies, real-time analytics. And a Converged database allows you to run all sorts of workloads. You can get a synergy by this combination. So for example, you can have machine learning algorithms and spatial data in the same database. What this enables you to do is you could easily do predictive analytics on spatial data, making this really dramatically easily and faster to develop data-driven applications. Next slide, please, Paul. So when we're actually planning your cloud journey, it's very important to really assess what you need to do. And this slide just really summarizes the things that you should really be thinking for front and foremost. And one of the things, of course, is planning your connectivity upfront and early. And Oracle and Megaport take you through a discovery process which mitigates the risk and defines the most optimal strategy to reach your business outcomes, incorporating all of these factors above. Next slide, please, Paul. I think I'm handing back over to you now.
That's great. Thanks, Suzanne. Excellent. Thanks for the benefits of Oracle Database in Oracle Cloud. I'm just going to change gear a little bit, and we're going to cover off Oracle Fast Connect. And before we get into that, we'll just talk about some of the challenges that organizations have when they're thinking about their connectivity to Oracle Cloud. So what kind of things do they need to consider when doing that? It's going to depend on your use cases and your workloads and how you're using that connectivity and what you need from it. So if you need to do, for example, large one-time transfers, then throughput could be a very important consideration that you need to think about. So can you reach the capacity that you need to make that large transfer over a period of time? It could be a huge amount of data or a migration that you're doing. If you're doing a lot of transactional or high volume transfers as well, you could start to think about things like latency and resilience and the flexibility of what you have so that you can scale things up and down to meet your needs. Are your applications or your database functionality, are they sensitive to latency? Do you, if you're doing a lot of intense transactional type calls across your connectivity? And then in addition to that, for many organizations, security, of course, is paramount, but you might also have regulatory compliance, as Suzanne was mentioning earlier, and you might have a need for having data encrypted or data going over a private connectivity network between on-prem and cloud. So you need to think about that. And then obviously the scalability as well. Can you reach all of the locations where you need to get to move that data around from place to place? Can you do that in a global way? Can you scale that up and down? So that leads us into, why Fast Connect? So if you want to connect today from a data center to Oracle Cloud, it's perfectly common to use the internet to do that. you can encrypt over the internet, and you can send your data from one to the other. But if you want to transfer large volumes of data and you want to have that encrypted, then you can run into some challenges across the internet. So having those larger pipes, private connectivity options all the way from your location into Oracle Cloud, a fast connect is really the best solution that will offer you those higher data rates of 10 gigabits and greater, for example, and it'll offer you a low latency connection between your DC and cloud. You'll have really good jitter figures and you'll have no packet loss on that as well. And of course, that will help you meet your security requirements as well, with the ability to encrypt across that connection and have a private connection that is not exposed to the internet. So for many enterprises, they expect their networking to really just look like an extension of their corporate networks. And that is what Fast Connect is offering to Oracle customers. So what is a Fast Connect? It is a private direct network connection between the customer and Oracle Cloud. It is facilitated by a network provider like Megaport. And like we said earlier, all of the 26 Fast Connect locations that we have globally are already connected. They are there, they are waiting to be consumed by customers in minutes. They do not touch the internet, and they allow you to scale to high data rates, allowing you to achieve those higher bandwidth, low latency, great jitter figures, data sovereignty, and compliance requirements that you might have. And like I said earlier as well, you can obviously provision these through the Megaport portal, and you can also do that through APIs and Terraform as well. So let's look at some examples to kind of bring this to life. We've been talking about some things from a higher level, but we just look at some examples of deployments. Excuse me. And this is an example of an organization with 2 data centers here at the bottom. They're taking an interconnect point into the Megaport network through a physical port in each of the data centers. So they'll have ordered a cross connect, and then their port is ready to go. Once the cross connect is in place, all of the provisioning north of that physical port is then all virtually provisioned. So you can see in this case that the Fast Connects have been duplicated in each region, so that you've got multiple Fast Connects in region 1 and in region 2, and they're going back to 2 separate ports and 2 separate data centers. So you have geo-redundancy, you have no single point of failure on the port, the cross connect, the data center, the Fast Connect, the virtual cross connect, the DRG. All of those have resilience built into this design. So this is quite a common way for users to achieve a hybrid cloud into Oracle Cloud in different regions. Now, if we look at an example of using a virtual router. So what if you want to connect from Oracle Cloud to other clouds, which is a very popular use case for our customers. And you can see in this example, we've got a virtual cloud router. Now, this is a virtual router that's spun up on the Megaport network. It's not sitting inside Oracle Cloud or any of the other clouds shown here. It's on our network. We manage the entire network. It's our infrastructure. And in this example, you can see the cloud router connects in through a Fast Connect to Oracle, to Google Cloud, it's Google Partner Interconnect, to Microsoft Azure, it's an express route, and to AWS, it is a direct connect. This connectivity that's shown here is entirely private, does not touch the internet. It scales up to 10 gigabits per second and will go to greater data rates in the next couple of months. It allows you to achieve low latency between the clouds as well, and it's flexible so that you can turn up and down the connectivity as you need as well. Now, this is just showing a single instance of this. If you needed resilience, you would basically just deploy the same again, but you would use different interconnectivity points, because there's always multiple connectivity points available when connecting to the clouds. So what happens if you want to connect also back to your on-premise data center, maybe to an Oracle database on-prem? Then you can introduce a physical port in any of the locations that you can reach us from 800 globally, spin up that port, connect into it, and then the connection between the port and the virtual router is a virtual connection, so they don't have to be local to each other if you don't want to. And then you can have that multi-cloud connectivity going again at the top. So you can go from Oracle Cloud to the other clouds through the Megaport cloud router, and then only sending data back to on-prem as and when you need to do it. So you don't have to trombone your data down and then back up to the other clouds. So again, private connectivity, 100% private in this example, and just duplicate this if you need resilience using secondary on-ramps, which are entirely separate from the first. And then just a little word on low latency multi-cloud. If you look across Oracle Cloud and the other cloud providers, what you'll see is the cloud on-ramps, as we call them, or the cloud interconnect points, the fast connects, the direct connects, they are typically congregated inside a few data centers within the key metros around the world. So if you look at those locations, you'll find that there's 2, maybe 3 inside each of the metros where they are deployed, and they're common data center locations where they happen to reside. So that's where Megaport also puts our virtual edge capabilities. It's where we put our virtual routing capabilities as well. And that allows you to have low latency between the clouds and provisioning immediate services between them as well. So that the hop between the clouds is really going through a single data center, and it's as low as we can possibly get it. Okay, and then the final element that we'll talk about today before we go into the demo is the Megaport Virtual Edge. So what is the Megaport Virtual Edge? It's really think of it as an underlay, and the underlay is made up of compute, networking, and internet. And this is running in around 90 locations globally around the world. You can choose the location, you don't have to have a presence there, and you can just spin up a Megaport Virtual Edge. And as you're spinning up that device, you can then choose the overlay of choice that you want, whether it's SD-WAN, virtual routing, or virtual firewalling. So for example, if you need a high capacity virtual firewall, you can spin up a Palo Alto 12 virtual CPU firewall in Singapore in a matter of minutes. Same for Fortinet and Versa. So you could firewall between the cloud and on-prem, all done virtually. The same goes for virtual routing with a Cisco C8000V or a Fortinet device. And then we've got all of these SD-WAN solutions qualified on the Megaport network. We don't provide the licensing for any of these overlays, so that's always done through your partner or through the vendors themselves. So we just provide the underlay, you take the license, drop that on top of the virtual edge. And I think that's nicely shown in this next slide, where we're showing the Megaport Virtual Edge, drop on the licensing that you require that to be in. It comes in various different scales. And then if you want to, you can connect an internet interface at up to 10 gigabits per second. And then if it's SD-WAN, you can connect your branches through that. If it's not SD-WAN, you can have IPsec tunnels or remote users connecting into the MVE there as well, and controlled by the vendor that you place on top of the virtual edge. Then on the right-hand side of this diagram, we're showing all of the things that you can connect to from this Megaport Virtual Edge. So you can reach anything on the Megaport network, any data center that we have within the 800 locations. You can go to Oracle Cloud or any other cloud in any location. You can reach our partners on the marketplace. You can reach internet exchanges. You can connect through to other Megaport virtual edges or virtual routers or ports. So it's all accessible there. So an example might be if you're using an SD-WAN solution, you could have a Megaport virtual edge in Los Angeles, bringing in some branches into that edge location. They could then have connectivity to cloud locally in West US area. But you could also connect that virtual edge across to another one, let's say in Frankfurt. And the Frankfurt Megaport Virtual Edge would reach out to local branches with a short hop over the internet, but also offer local Oracle Cloud connectivity there as well. So that way, the users can jump off the internet quickly. They can have a private connection to Oracle Cloud, and then they can have a 98% private cloud journey to the other branches that they need to connect to in West US. So lots of flexibility there. My team are there to help you with the design of these services, the solution architects spread throughout the European region. Okay, so looking across, Suzanne, will hand it over to you to look at flexible architectures with multi-cloud.
Thank you, Paul. So we just want to make it clear the definitions really when we're talking about the types of architectures that you can deploy in a multi-cloud model. And here on the slide, you can see that we've got the full stack applications and we've got split stack applications. So by full stack applications, what we mean is that we're actually deploying an entire stack on one public cloud, connecting to another stack on another cloud. So you can see here that, for example, on the left, we have the Business Suite and Oracle connecting to Exadata database service on dedicated infrastructure, which then will then connect to the other public cloud running a custom application. So what we're doing here is we're ensuring that we've got data integration between these applications without re-architecting. And typically, you know, what we're seeing here is that, you know, batch processing could be applicable here, you know, an analytics kind of pipeline, where we're actually not actually sensitive to network latency. And we don't really need that low latency network connectivity in some of these cases. However, if it's real-time stream processing, then you would need that low latency. So it's really very important to weigh up your connectivity requirements, depending on what kind of workload you're deploying. And the second option is your split stack application. This is very different because you're actually taking your application and running it in one public cloud, connecting to the Oracle database, in this example, in Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. And this is where we really do need to achieve high performance. And we leverage innovation and economics by running the best of breeds in both clouds. But what's paramount here is that we do very much need that low latency and high throughput for network connectivity to achieve that application performance. Next slide, please, Paul. And on that note, if we take a look at some of the use cases that we can deploy, in the first example that we gave, right, that was a stack to stack. And well, actually, let me start with the application split stack, because we've got that one listed first. So the application split stack, as I've just said, is, I've taken you through that one already. We're actually running the application in one cloud, connecting to, say, other technologies in another cloud and the Oracle database in Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. So we're leveraging the best-in-class cloud products across the services. Now, the next example, workload mobility, this is where we're actually ensuring that we've got a distributed multi-cloud application that's deployed in a model that can actually be portable across the clouds. And we can achieve this, for example, by running Kubernetes in one particular cloud and connecting to databases in another cloud. Oracle database, MySQL server could be on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure or AWS, or we could, for example, have the Oracle database service in the services that I've already taken you through today. And then the stack-to-stack application to application is really the second model that I took you through on the other slide. And this is where we're ensuring that we've got, you know, stack-to-stack interoperability. And this is where we actually need, in some cases, for example, we could also extend that with an integration where you could actually also need a high bandwidth, low latency connection as well. Data analytics pipeline is very, very popular when we're looking at split stack deployments in the cloud. And this is where we have the analytics vendor running in one particular cloud, connecting to the Oracle database at the back ends. So for example, you could have Power BI in Azure or Synapse Analytics, or connecting to the Oracle database, whether that's autonomous or Exadata database service or base database service. Finally, the SaaS to platform integration. This is really just where we're talking about connecting SaaS with data analytics, again, under the popular use case. So I'll hand back to you now, Paul. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thanks, Suzanne. All right, so the next piece is where we're moving into a demo, but let me just describe what we're going to show you here today. So this is really around the integration that Megaport and Oracle has worked upon. Most of the work has actually been on the Oracle side, where the Oracle console now has Megaport functionality integrated in so that you've got a single pane of glass for provisioning of services. So what can you do inside Oracle console with Megaport? Well, you can create a Fast Connect connection, and then you can attach that to an existing Megaport port. We've had this actually for a couple of years, but then about just over a year ago, there was additional integration done whereby you can complete that Fast Connect connection, and then you can attach that into a Megaport cloud router, so into that virtual router. And it can be an existing virtual router that you have, or you can create a new one. And then finally, as an option, you can go ahead and attach that across to AWS and use a hosted connection, direct connect, to attach that across. So essentially building what we have here at the bottom, Oracle Cloud with a Fast Connect into a Megaport cloud router, and then another virtual cross connect into a AWS direct connect. And these can be, any locations globally as well. Okay, so next we're going to run through a fairly fast-moving demo of the services. So we've got about 4.5 minutes just showing you what these are. So I will talk you through this demo. So here we are in Oracle Cloud. And what we're going to do is we're in the Fast Connect area. We're in the console, and we're going to create a Fast Connect. We're choosing Megaport for that service. And then we're going to just give it a name, choose the compartment that it's in. We're going to create a private virtual circuit, and then we're going to select a dynamic routing gateway that we have up and running already. We're going to choose a bandwidth up to 10 gig throughput on this Fast Connect, and then we're going to add some IP addressing for BGP purposes, which is required. We'll also then add a BGP ASN. In this case, we're going to add one for the default one for a Megaport cloud router, but you could add in the BGP ASN of your choice. So we'll go ahead, create that Fast Connect. It's super quick to create, and now we can already see the OCID is available here. Now we could take that OCID, we could go into the Megaport portal and do this in multiple panes of glass. But today we're going to show you, we're just going to log in to my Megaport account here. And then we've got a choice of connecting that Fast Connect onto an existing port that we may have, or we can select Megaport Cloud Router at the top, and we can attach that Fast Connect to an existing Megaport Cloud Router or create a new one. So we're going to demo the spinning up of a new MCR here. You can see the name is allocated. It can be edited if you want to. You choose a country. We've got 5 options in London. We're going to spin that up in LD5, which is a new location for the cloud router in London. We're going to spin up a 10 gig MCR with a 12-month term on that. For the Oracle Virtual Cross Connect, again, we choose the location as being in the same place as the MCR, LD5 for optimal latency. We're going to choose the VXC throughput of 5 gig to match the Fast Connect. And we can stop here if we want and just leave that connected to the MCR, but we now have an option at the bottom to also create a connection into AWS. So we give it an AWS connection name. We need to specify the AWS account ID. for us to be able to direct that interface into AWS, into a specific account there. And then we'll choose the direct connect location. We've got lots of options here. And we do have one into EU West, one in Ireland, also in the same data center. And again, we'll choose that to be 5 gigabits per second throughput. We could go higher if we wanted to, but just for demo purposes, 5 gig. So we get a summary of everything that we have provisioned, including the pricing, and we're being asked to accept the terms and conditions on the previous page. And once we accept those terms and conditions, the provisioning then happens. So all of that configuration pushed through API from the Oracle console and is being deployed now. So the first element to be brought up is the Megaport Cloud Router. Takes 2 to 3 minutes for that virtual router to be fully up. But here it's showing that the provisioning has been successfully implemented, and then the other elements happen in the minutes after that configuration itself. So it's going through, it's checked the status of the MCR, it's now done. So the MCR is available to take the virtual cross connect from Oracle for the fast connect. So we need 2 tick boxes for that, and then the same for AWS. And then once that's done, it moves back to the Fast Connect screen. So it's all been provisioned. The connectivity is being provisioned by Megaport. And if we move across to the Megaport portal, and if I log in to the account where the services have been created inside. Now, this step is not necessary, but we're just showing you that the services have been created in the background. We can go into the services area here and see that the Megaport Cloud Router has been created at 10 gigabits per second throughput, and then 2 connections, one to Oracle at 5 gig and one to AWS at 5 gig, all in the same location at low latency. And you can replicate this connectivity in another London location as well for resilience if you wish. So hopefully, I know that was pretty high-speed demoing. It was pretty fast shooting there, but hopefully you got the idea of that you could do all of that provisioning inside the Oracle console. You can attach your Fast Connect to a Megaport port. You can attach it to a cloud router. You can create your own cloud router. You can attach that also to AWS Direct Connect. So pretty powerful. I hope you will agree. So that just leaves it for me to wrap up. Again, you know, the Megaport value proposition we covered earlier: self-service, no lock-in terms, global connectivity, data center independent. You know, it's our network that we run, and we work directly with customers on their requirements and their connectivity needs, and helping out partners and customers with design there as well. So we're available in 800 locations globally. From our connectivity to Oracle, we've got that integration that we've just seen in the demo. We've got the 26 locations already connected. They're there waiting to be consumed. It's offering 100% private connectivity into Oracle Cloud, which offers you the security, the data sovereignty, and compliance that you need, and you can access all OCI services across that as well. And then I hope hopefully you've taken something away from the private multi-cloud options, the ability to spin up virtual routing and virtual firewalling there as well. And finally, I'll leave you just with some links, and you could search up these links and you'll be able to find them on the Oracle website and the Megaport website. But we will be sending out a recording of this session afterwards, and the slides as well, to everybody who has attended. And so that just leaves me to wrap up with a couple of questions. Unless Sherlock or Suzanne, if there's anything else you want to cover at this point, or anything that we missed.
Nothing my side, thank you.
Okay. Okay, great. I've got one question here that's it's basically asking, what if I wish to connect to OCI in London and then to AWS in Paris over a secure connection? What would I have to do with cross connects? So in that actual situation, as this was, I think, asked earlier in the session, but maybe you've got it from the demo, that actually you could do all of this inside the Oracle console. So you could spin up a cloud router. You can connect to Oracle Cloud in London. You can connect to AWS in Paris, and that there's no cross connect required for this. This is all virtual. It's all private. You don't need to do anything physical on your side. So again, through the Oracle portal, all of that can be done. There's also another question about bandwidth. So what if I need more bandwidth? How do I achieve that? Well, you simply just turn up the Fast Connect data rate, and you can do that similarly on the Megaport side as well, and you can achieve higher or lower data rates to suit your functionality and needs. You're not locked into any long-term contracts there. And then Suzanne, there's one here asking about Exadata database service. So does this type of hybrid solution meet the latency requirements for Exadata database service, typical deployments?
Yeah, so we have many customers today that have deployed a split stack architecture with Exadata database service, and we have customers as well with yourselves with Megaport running this configuration too. So it certainly does, and it's all about location proximity, as you've taken us through, and planning your architecture really when it comes to that. But you've got the capability on the back end with Exadata database service with all the things I've taken you through today that really ensure that maximum performance. But that latency, we have a lot of customers that need to manage their latency also within their own data centers before they even move to the cloud, because it's about optimizing your database as well and ensuring that you've got great database optimization and performance. But absolutely, yes, that the answer is yes. We do that today.
That's fantastic. I think we'll wrap it up there. We're just going to cross the top of the hour, and yeah, the other questions we'll get back to you directly after this session. But thank you for attending. Please do feel free to reach out to Suzanne, Sherlock, or myself, and we'd be happy to discuss anything that you find interesting from this webinar. But that's it for now. Thank you.